morning. I swear a lot.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Library of Ruina. Welcome back to the citywide Revolt mod. So, we've got stuff to do, we've got progress to make. I'd like to make some progress. And of course, I get the distinct impression, don't know for sure, but I get the distinct impression we might be fighting M-Corp again. M-Corp. So that should be fun, but I've set up a little team and I've played around with the layouts a little bit. I don't know if it's necessarily that creative, but I tried to mess around, see what I could do. We'll start with your sod, right? On Salvador's page with 2 times Wake Up, 3 times Flash the Sun Up, 1 time Sunset Blade, 2 times Stigmatize, 1 times Crack of Dawn, with Solidarity, Buzz Buzz, Blind Fire, and Emergency Rations. I'm kind of trying to lean it a bit more into overall debuffs and buffing of our side at an early stage where commanders aren't really a thing yet, as it were. But I also didn't want to rely on Vivian, because we've been using Vivian a lot recently, and, like, Vivian isn't amazing, incredible, super strong, but I don't like using the same setup every single time. Having said that, there will be some stuff in here that you'll see is familiar, but I like to think I might have switched things up a little bit to keep it interesting. But your sod, honestly, I just wanted to use Salvador's page and these cards because I really like them. And, yeah, kind of tried to run it like that. I like the idea of gaining a lot of power on the first scene. If we are up against M-Corp, then they'll have access to some of their better pages and more of them on the first round because they start on motion level 2. So I'm thinking if we get a bit of a boost to start the fight with, that might bring us up to their level. Speaking of M-Corp, we have Zaru, right? Well, on an M-Corp Gatherer page 1, which I swear I have page 2, but I don't know where the fuck it is. Well, I don't know if I'm just crazy or whatever, but I don't see it. So, was that available from the book burning? Sorry, give me a sec. I just want to make sure I'm not being stupid. Yeah, no, it is. So why can't I? Is it maybe not in Urban Plague? Is it in Urban Nightmare, perhaps? It occurred to me I never bothered to check. Have a quick look. Let's find out. Yeah, it's in the next level, as it were. Okay, fair enough. But, like, we can't use it anyway, so it's moot. But yes, Zaru on that Gatherer's page. With 2 times Loosen Up, 2 times Subject Hunt, 2 times the Red Notes, and 3 times Subdue. With Solidarity, Punch to the Solar Plexus, Taxation, Emergency Rations, and Electric Shock. So I'm kind of hoping for Zaru to just stagger people using Subdue mostly, because dice on Subdue obviously don't deal any physical damage, but they do a shit ton of stagger damage, like an absolute fuck ton. So, and it's also a really good clasher. So I'm thinking Zaru can set them up, just beat the fuck out of every single person on the other side of the field, set them up for follow-ups, and, you know, we'll be good to go from there. Lily, I forgot to give you pages. How did I forget to do that? Give me a sec. Okay, yes, Lily is on Meow's page with 2 times Way Up, 1 times Clean Up, 1 times the Red Notes, 2 times Tendon Chords, 2 times Sparking Spear, and 1 time Heavy Peaks with Buzz Buzz, Solidarity, Lawbringer of the Backstreets, and Emergency Rations. So, a lot of stuff doing a lot of things in a lot of different places. Inflicting paralysis on 3 enemies at the start of the act, gaining strength as long as everyone's alive, gaining block die, and also giving a random ally protection, healing over time, and then of course Meow's page itself provides like 1 strength to 2 random allies at the start of the act, and every successful blunt attack of which we like have, I don't know, 3 will do fragile, but that's not particularly what I was focusing on. The idea with Lily was to lean in a bit more to the musicians and that kind of stuff where it's like landing attacks and stuff, provide benefits and debuffs to various enemies, to kind of allies and enemies, to kind of mix things up a bit and put things over to your side. I've never really played with these much, so I just kind of want to see how they play out. With Lily, this fucking floor is so confusing because of these two. God damn it, couldn't have planned that better if I tried. On Oscar's page, this will seem familiar. With 2 times Weight Up, 1 times You're a Hindrance, 2 times Mend Weapon, 2 times Sparking Spear, 1 times Collision, and 1 times Refine. With Solidarity, Piercing Prowess of a Grade 8 Fixer, Finalize, and Snipe. The result of actually being able to get Piercing Prowess of a Grade 8 Fixer and Pierce and Jolting Puncture means that Piercing die do a lot of damage. When you combine all of this together. And with the extra strength from Solidarity, and on the first turn they're going to roll very high. So Lily's going to go in swinging, like just swinging hard. You're a Hindrance can actually have a solid chance of landing on the first turn, which can inflict paralysis, which would allow us to continue our momentum to keep things going. Mend Weapon obviously providing dice power and restoring light. Sparking Spear draws pages. Collision restores light, and Refine provides extra pierce dice power. like +2 for the entire scene, which is pretty nice. There's some good stuff here, and I think it could work well. Even if I haven't built this quite correctly, I think the concept is sound. Those workshop fixer pages are actually really good. You can set up some ridiculous Pierce decks around this time in the game, I think, even without mods or anything like that. Wedge Office is actually incredible. But we finally move on to Kota, and Kota is on Meow's page with 1 times low at night, high at day, 2 times stay calm, 2 times relay, 1 times flip the table, and 3 times daring decision with soaring, talent, bottom deal, stacking the deck, emergency rations, and in times like these. So obviously, you know, a discard deck, but also with a bit of an emphasis on speed. I realized that soaring is actually an incredible passive attribution. Choose the speed dice with the lowest value. Speed values of the die increase by 4. Obviously, it's not Myongist, but it is very effective. And in fact, if you set up the what's he called? Big dude in the straight jacket with the hammer. I can't remember his name. We'll call it Regret because I can't remember the Abno's name. If you set up that Regret Abno page where it reduces the character's speed to 1 and provides blunt power boost, I presume with soaring you would be guaranteed 5s, which isn't the fastest thing in the world, but is solid. Guaranteed 5s is pretty good. Like, obviously all this is before Myongist, and assuming you're not using Myongist, you know. But that is solid. Obviously not really making use of it here. For Kota, I basically went for high speed with a discard deck. Now, once again, discard is a bit iffy at this point in the game, but it is still fun to use. I love spamming Daring Decision. It's very fucking fun. And with buffs and stuff going around, I reckon Kota will be able to pull their weight. But with that out of the way, let's see what we got next. I bet it's M-Corp Part 2. Oh, there's quite a few of them. Let's see what we got. It's not M-Corp Part 2. It's something cooler. Okay, so a gold leaf knave. Speed 0.5, we know what that is. Pyrite embroidery. All dice on objet dart pages targeting this character lose 1 power and deal 2 less damage than stagger damage on hit. That's very specific and interesting. Arrivee. All dice on the first combat page use each scene gain +1 min and max value. That's really good. And talent, which is decent. Flaking twist. If this dice power is below 0, restore 2 light. That's really interesting. Defensive buff. If this dice power is below 0, draw 2 pages. On hit, inflicts 1 disarm next scene. How would you set that up? Dice on this page are unaffected by power gain or loss. Inflict 2 feeble to each other this scene. Inflict 2 feeble to each other the next scene. That's really... These are weird. Crumbling slash. Okay. Fool's gold. Dice on this page are unaffected by power gain or loss. Inflict 2 disarm to each other this scene. On clash win, inflicts 1 disarm to each other this... Okay, so you're debuffing yourself and your opponent whilst also, you know, having that be a good thing for you because these 2 die provide benefits if the power is at 0, and then Crumbling Slash is unaffected by power gain or loss. As is Fool's Gold as well. Okay. But it does require you to hit. If you don't hit, you're not inflicting those debuffs and therefore nothing's happening. And these are unaffected by power gain or loss. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll bring Zaru, Lily, and Lily in for this one, because I reckon they can handle it. There's 2 floors available, 2 acts. Alright, let's see what you got then, huh? Let's see what you got. You're out here wearing Kurkumo threads, but do you live up to the name, is the question. Crumbling Slash, Fool's Gold, defensive buff. Okay, some pretty basic stuff. These do roll quite high, though. And I do worry for Lily. Having said that, they all do have paralysis, so that could help. So we want to make sure we get hit by, like, defensive buff, because it doesn't matter. Well, it does inflict disarm, which sucks. Lily does have Lawbringer. That adds a block die to a combat page. It doesn't give her a counter die. That is a different thing. Well, Zaru, I suppose you can just get started and fucking subdue them, yeah? That seems pretty good. Crumbling Slash. You're gonna get hit by something. Sparking Spear for more pages and weight up. May as well just hit them back, I suppose. Fool's Gold is a bit of a pain. Lily isn't gaining power at the start of the scene, so her +1 is all she's got. Heavy Peaks can have an effect. And then weight up, because you're not going to get an emotion level this turn, so you're going to need some lights. This could be tricky, actually. Nice. Very nice. Love to see it. That stagger is a good start. puts us in good stead. Subdue just got a little bit extra in there just to make things more difficult for them. I love it. Metallic ringing for Zaru. Due to all the blunt focus and stuff, they're already staggered. We could probably kill them this turn. They've only got 1 die each. Oh boy. It's a bit risky, but Lily could potentially deal with both of them. With Refine to gain that +2. Oh, but that is 3 to 5. But +2 would be 5 to 7. Then 6 to 8. And then 7 to 9 with your strength. And you're not gaining snipe anymore. You could throw out red notes. You're a hindrance is not going to deal with Fool's Gold. No, we need something stronger off the bat. Use red notes to provide a buff. You... maybe... yeah, also use red notes to provide a buff, because then presumably Lily will gain 2 strength. Alright, we're setting a thing up here. So, yeah, and then go Refine, and then go... you're a hindrance. I don't see you're a hindrance working, but we'll try. Yeah, it's worth trying. It's worth giving a go. A lot of potential buffs being added here. And if Lily does get hurt, then Red Nose does also heal allies, so that works too. Okay, that provides strength next scene, but that's still very good. Let's see. Wow, the fact that you actually clash that is kind of nuts. They are so fucked. Yep. Not surprised, not surprised. It's fine. All worked out. It's all okay. Yeah, I think they're in a bit of trouble, you know? I'm just putting it out there. I think they might be in a bit of trouble. Now, the only downside is with the layout we have and the passive attributions we have available, Zaru's not actually gaining any bonuses to blunt power. You know, because we don't have, like, the puppets yet, for example. Is it the puppets? I can't remember. I think it is. Point is, we don't have that bonus to power yet. So all buffs come from, like, strength and whatnot. Lily's gaining 2, which is quite nice. She does need cards, so that might be the time. Your pages are unaffected by power gain or loss, but ours aren't, so... but you can't intercept anything. Try for subject hunt. What can you intercept? You could intercept that. Cool, that'll do. Go for that as well, because you could land the stagger this turn. Crumbling Slash. Sparking Spear. And then... Fool's Gold. That's a bit risky, huh? Disarmed is only decreasing the power of defensive die. We're using offense die primarily, so I would play more of the long game, but we're actually set to win this very soon, so I think we're all right. Bam. Damn. They are strong. But they're not that strong, are they, really? Nah, not that strong. Nah, not that strong. Yeah, they're fucked. In hell we live. Lament. Lmao. Yeah, disarmed counts as a status element, so Lament would actually be really useful. If they want to inflict status elements, then turn it against them. I like it, I like it. Red Nose does... no, it's not Red Nose, it's Tendon Cords, but it's on the second hit, so we're not actually going to get anything from it. I don't think there's anything to get from it. But we can try. Ding. Cool, round 1 was an easy victory. Alright, you knaves, what else you got? What do you got for us now, you fucking cretins? Ooh, Shark. An individual in black. So obviously we know what the Gold Leaf Knaves do, we can skip that, but Shark? Jacques Pierre Ernest and the Cursing of Chateau Castle. How exciting, and we can bring 4 people this time, which is actually really handy. Speed, yep, speed dice +1. Beauty of Crumbling Fragments. At the start of the scene, if this character is feeble, draw 1 page. If disarmed, restore 1 light. If both, all other allies restore 1 light and draw 1 page. Okay, so there's some real stuff that can go together on this. All dice on Objet d'Art, all dice the first combat page, and talent. Okay. Flaking Twist. Yep, that's the same as before. Crumbling Slash. This is new. Golden Leaf Katana. Okay. Dice on this page are inversely affected by power gain and loss. That's interesting. So if they've got a fuck ton of disarm and what is it, feeble? I think it's feeble that lowers attack power. They get stronger. Does that mean that paralysis would also make Golden Leaf Katana stronger? Because if so, that's quite interesting and concerning. Can use ranged spear combat pages. Speed die once per scene, inflicts 1 restraint on hit. This character is unaffected by paralysis and seal. Fair judge. All dice played by this character and any dice clashing against them are unaffected by power gain or loss. This person's going to be dangerous. At the end of the scene, recover half the stagger damage taken during the scene. Minimum of 1 does not activate while staggered. Blend in. If the target has 3 or less restraint, become untargetable next scene. Otherwise, inflict 3 paralysis next scene. Has to be on hit though. I'm seeing some counter die. Restore 2 light is kind of incredible. Scout. All dice the user plays lose 1 power this scene. Ah. I guess it's made up for by being a really good card though. Crumbling Slash, yep, and Fool's Gold. Okay. We'll let Sod take a break. We'll bring these guys in. 4 on 4, and we certainly do have a chance. And we have an emotion level advantage, so we can probably make use of that. Crumbling Slash, huh? How about Subdue? Why don't you subdue them? Medium style. Fool's Gold, and you are gaining strength, and that is nice. Weirdly, cleanup might be your best bet there. We're not going to be able to clash everything, that's for sure, so we're going to take some hits. Fool's Gold kind of needs to be defeated, but by whom? I'm not sure if Daring Decision will do it, but give it a try. You never know. Except to an extent, you might actually just know, but don't worry about it. Get rid of... Oh, we can't. Get rid of... Well, we're going to get rid of the 2 lackeys first. That's going to be the plan. But these 2 do need to be contested, or they're going to cause problems. We don't have enough speed to deal with that. Oh, yeah, speed is being a real problem here. Weirdly. No, at the very least, you should clash with what you can, you know, clash with. We want to limit the amount of debuffs we take. Which is easier said than done, but get rid of the little bitch asses first. And that's about as good as we've got. I think Tendon Cords is going to be quite useful. So I think we're going to lose a lot next turn. Kind of feeling. Yeah, that wasn't great. That went better than I expected, honestly. That was good. That's not. That's pretty bad. Yep. Yep. They didn't like that. That was very good. That's bad. It gets worse. The debuffs are insane. The stagger is amazing. Good stuff, okay. We're making it happen. One of them's already staggered, so we've got a bit of an advantage now. Luckily for Kota, the bonuses and minuses being out are cancelling each other out, so they should be able to win that. They also might not, but at least they have a chance now, rather than having no chance. Crumbling Slash, Subdue. Just put them down, yeah? Fucking medium style. Fool's Gold. Lily's actually suffering a debuff. That needs to be dealt with. That can be kind of dealt with normally. Card draw is a bit of an issue if you're not drawing Sparking Spear. Give it a go. Low at night, high at day on them. Hopefully we can kill them, but if not, they'll be in a real bad way when they come out of it, and they will probably be staggered this turn as well. So it'll all work out. And Jacques is also going to take a shit ton of stagger this turn, because they are the target of Subdue. We'll see. Good. That was really good. Really happy with that. That was quite an exchange. That hurt. That was a big hit. Big hits. Wow. More than I was expecting. You guys do a lot of damage. That was some good stuff. That was a good stagger. Yeah, we're going to give that to Zaru. Yeah, absolutely. Solemn Lament. I will go for it. You know I will. Sadly, they don't have enough light. Oh, that's a shame. I want them to use Solemn Lament. It would be fun. The problem, however, is they're being targeted, and I think it makes them untargetable. Yeah, can't do that. Bad time for you to go slow. You're going to have to loosen them up. Give him the old 2-1, not do 1, because you're only throwing 1 punch. But it's gonna do 1. 2-1. Defensive buff, easily taken care of. They're having a very light turn. Which is just what we need. They will die. Can't target them, so just crush this one. This might be a bit much, but just make sure they die. There we go. Big hits. No chance. Fuck all damage. Barely noticed it. Who cares? Yeah. Better idea. Fuck red notes. Do it. Well, if it doesn't work, it's gonna look real silly, but if it works, it'll be hype. Go for it. Go on, lad. Yeah, I think the paralysis, because I forgot, or I hadn't really considered the fact that, paralysis, if a die is being recycled, then paralysis would continue to apply to it. Ah, they escaped. Yeah, I've never had that combination of events occur before, so I hadn't considered that possibility. I should have just let Lily do it. Oh, well. It was pretty hype, though, of the Stranger in Black to just dodge a full Fulham Lament string, though. Gotta give him credit. Just not very hype for us. Well, good job, lads. We did it. Let's see what new books we got, as if it's not going to be the things we just encountered. Though sadly, of course, the Stranger in Black is not going to be providing us with anything. Which is a shame. I would have liked that. There was some cool stuff there. A lot of good synergy, I noticed. So yeah, a lot of this debuff both yourself and the enemy and then not care business. I like how they changed the colors on that. That's a nice touch. We could get a bonus to the first combat page used each scene, bearing in mind that Zaru only has the one combat page they use each scene because their emotion level is fixed and they don't get any extra speed. So that could actually be quite powerful. Maybe sacrifice that. Potentially. It depends. Finalize is 2, but we can't. Okay, we'll get rid of Electric Shock then and replace it with Finalize. And then maybe just change it a little bit. We've only one combat page per turn. Okay, there's one thing I do want, definitely. Where is it? I think it's in here. Yeah, I want Binding Arms. I want one Binding Arms. Because that's hype. And it's good. I guess Loosen Up is a good shout, to be fair. Primarily, we're going for Subdue. Like, that's what we're always going to try and use because of its ability to stagger targets. Outburst would be a useful one, though, actually. Discard a page with the lowest... I don't know. Restore 2. Spend 2 to restore 2 is just an even... Although, isn't it usually... No, it's not usually an even trade, so it's not great. Not terrible, but not great. What we actually want is more pages with our 1 cost. Original cost is 1, yes. We just want a shit ton of 1 cost pages because then we get additional blunt die on them. We need more combat pages that is just 1 blunt die at cost 1. And it occurs to me how fucking rare that is at the moment, which is a shame because it's precisely what I want. At least more red notes, that's useful. Ah, the light gain's useful. Yeah, keep it nice and simple. All right. And then with Arrive and Finalize, the last die on each page will be super effective, and all the pages on the die on the 1 combat page that Zaru gets to use each turn will be more effective. And that's not taking into consideration buffs, which we will be getting. Okay, cool. Let's run with that. That's the only change I feel like making at the moment. There's probably other stuff I could do to improve things, of course there is, but I think that's all we need for now. Let's deal with M Corp. What do you got? K Corp. I was so sure this was going to be M Corp. This is K Corp. So they're going to be healing themselves like crazy. So speed 0.5, Guardian at the start of the act, 3 random allies gain 2 protection. Oh boy. Activate HP bullets / fatigue. At the start of the act, shuffle 3 HP bullets into the deck. At the start of the scene, if at 50% of max HP or below, put an HP bullet on top of the deck. Starts the battle with 25% less HP. On a successful blunt attack, deal 2 bonus stagger damage. Man, Zaru needs that. We can only have 3 people again. Forbid entry. If HP increases by at least 5 while using this page, restore 2 light. Okay. So this stuff would go well with Elena's Bloodthirsting, because I believe she restores 2 HP on hit. So that would guarantee that Forbid entry would restore 2 light each time. In fact, that's exactly what we wanted for Zaru with the layout we currently have, which is a 1 cost page with 1 blunt die on it. So that would work really well for like a singular strike blunt idea, which I will absolutely be rolling out when we reach Urban Nightmare, for sure. Or Urban Ledge, whatever the fuck it's called, I don't know. Suspicious individuals. All dice played by the user against the target. The scene gain +1 power, I dare say. Inflict Rupture. Oh, we're dealing with Rupture now. Shelter. Gain 1 vitality and endurance next scene. Upon recovering HP, the scene increase HP by X. Right. That could be really powerful. Blockade. Give 1 protection to all allies next scene. Deal 5 stagger damage to target. Okay, and then K-Corp Medics. Whenever another ally recovers 5 plus HP at once, increase the ally's stagger resist by 2. That's really, really strong. Hellfaller, very good. First aid non-combatant. When using a combat page, if its target is an ally, recover 3 stagger resist and an ally recovers 3 HP. Offensive dice power -1. And then notice the combat pages. Scalpel cut. So they do have a means to attack, but most of this is just helping. Don't shoot the medic. If any counter dice from this page remain by the end of the scene, restore 2 light, draw 1 medical page, and recover 4 stagger resist. Cannot be redirected. Okay. 3 vitality and 1 strength. Right, so the medics need to go down before we can deal with the security. But someone needs to be fighting the security guards to make sure we aren't just getting absolutely battered. We'll bring Yasod this time because he hasn't been in yet, but I don't really see this as doing particularly well, but it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It's all good. No sweat. Okay, lads, here we fucking go. They're all targeting each other with healing shit. So we really need to focus down 1 medic and kill them, which would probably be this one because they don't have protection. You need to be wow. Okay, we don't need to deal with you at all. Right then, okay, here's what we do then. Tendon cord, so strength next turn. Way up for light restore. We're not going to gain any emotion coins, so that's a problem. Subdue. Cause some problems. Flash of sun up, I suppose. Make him dead. Yeah, make him dead. Yeah, make him dead. I should have considered the fact that subdue would not be useful. It's okay, we didn't even use it. Right, one of them's dead. That's handy. Give Lily request. A little bit of extra damage could go a long way. I guess we gained emotion level because we killed someone? I don't know. I think the big issue these enemies are going to have is that they don't really have... They don't have the wherewithal to use their powers properly, basically. Subdue. Like, what they should be doing is just making the security guard impossible to ignore. But we might see this again later, and then they'll be like, okay, we've introduced you to the concept. Now they're going to go for it. Now they're going to be going all out. Restore light. Tendon cords is useful. Red notes is useful now. Although it is a counter die, but they'll probably break through. You didn't. It's okay. Absolutely battering them now. Oh boy. Subdue! 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 Staggered. Dead. Dead. Very, very dead. Not going well for you guys, is it? This whole, you know, K-Corp thing? Here we go. And you've been marked, and you're doomed. Big punch. Yeah, no chance. It really is that simple, isn't it? So you've got a lot of bleed protection and 1 enduring. I don't know how to tell you this, but this won't save you. You've only got 1 die, so heavy peaks. It's over. It's so over. It's very over. What it is extremely over. Like, extremely over. No contest. Fucking doomed. Oh my god. Nice. Okay. Very good. Wow. Now, that was quite easy. I think it existed more to introduce a concept rather than to be challenging. Because that could have been really fucking dicey if if circumstances had been different, if it had been arrayed differently. So I suspect that's not the last we've seen of those mechanics. And I think it's going to be really problematic later on, which is exciting in its own way, you know, looking forward to it. It's going to be all right. There's definitely some stuff we can do with this shit. Definitely play with this. Because perhaps instead of having like 1 security guard and 4 medics, you could have, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, 4 or 3 security guards and 1 medic would be too much in the opposite direction, but you could achieve a balance, I feel, that could really work. This is stuff I definitely need to look into in my off time because there's a lot of words, basically, and I would need the time to really sit there, read them, and figure them out. But there is something we can use. Yeah, there is. Zaru, lad, we've got a new page for you. How about that? Instead of loosen up, let's give you forbid entry. With Zaru's benefits, that will hit like a truck. Especially if we set things up properly. What about over here? Yeah, what do we got next? Zwei gay attacksmen. Fuck, I absolutely fucked it again. My foolish brain is foolish. Hana section 6. So we're dealing with baby's first trigram. Once again, we can only have 3 people. So, speed 0.5, obviously. 4 trigrams initiate, gain 4 special combat pages to benefit the user for the scene they use. Only one of the 4 trigrams pages can be played per scene, and once such 4 trigrams page is used, it cannot be reused. Okay, so 4 trigrams with exhaust, basically. Put a spin, gain 3 protection to scene, destroy the last die on this page. That's... okay. But why? Why is there another die on it? What's the purpose of this? Though if it's one-sided, it restores 1 light, which is interesting. On Clash Loser, restores a page. Draw 1 page, all dice on this page lose 1 power. Okay. All dice on the opponent's page deal 4 less damage and stagger damage on hit. All dice on this page lose 2 power. Okay. Right. Start of Clash, if sum of average rolls of dice on the opponent's page is higher than that of the dice on this page, gain 2 strength and endurance next scene. Okay, that has some value, and inflicts paralysis on hit. Gains additional effects depending on the 4 trigrams page. Okay, yeah. Interesting stuff here, but it doesn't seem particularly powerful. Like, not on its own anyway. It's stuff that could clearly work better with other things, but in a vacuum, I don't think these guys are going to do very well. Just putting it out there, just considering the possibility. This might be a bit rough for them. No fooling, start with subdue. It's such a good opener, there's no reason not to do it. Take a measure. You haven't drawn Daring Decision, which is always a risk with this deck. You've got Authority going. You might have to take a bump, but it'll be alright. You're gaining power this turn, you should be able to make it happen. Are you gaining power this turn? No. You got a pretty weak turn this turn. Well, stay calm, I suppose. And then pick a target and kind of pick on him a little. Won't do much, but it's fine. See what happens. Bit of damage. Big hit. Minor hit in return. They did heal a lot, but it's fine. Lost the stagger damage. Nice. Very nice. Oh, yeah. That wasn't terrible. That wasn't terrible at all. Metallic ringing for Zaru. We know what we're doing. We know what we gotta use. Theoretically, if Zaru does gain that blunt die like Obedience says it will do, red notes should do the trick. Yeah, at the very least we'd have enough die. It's not necessarily gonna win, but we'd have enough to make it happen. You can contend that with Refine. They'll restore light from that, but that's fine. Daring Decision. Lily's gonna take a lot of hits. It's okay, but, you know, it's a problem. But we'll see. It'll be fine. We'll just power through. Just power through, yes. Yes? Kinda. Took a hit, but it's fine. All works out. Lily's gonna have a shit time. Shit time. I guess that works out. The enemy stagger thresholds are looking very bad, though, and this is very good for us. Grade is the only thing we really need to contest this turn, I think. It's the only thing that's truly dangerous. Having said that, Lily is having so many attacks come in that she might just fucking stagger. You might need to contest that. Don't know if you're going to be able to deal. I reckon you'll stagger before you actually get to deal with those, but the overall trade should be decent. It's actually a little tougher than I thought it'd be. Don't stagger before a clash. It's okay. Everything's fine. Good. Marvelous. Stagger is lovely. At least managed to land a hit. That is quite painful. Yeah. No good. At least they're dead. Don't think we can stop them from killing Lily. Although maybe with Subdue, that guy will stagger, so they won't be able to finish her off, and you can intercept them. Yes, you'll take a few knocks in return, but it'll be worth it, I'm sure. Oop, oop, oop. There we go. God, you're gonna stagger. He had such a bad turn. Koa's build isn't great, admittedly, but it's fine. Things are already looking very bad for them. Probably can deal with that. Need to protect Koa anyway. And wait up, and we'll see how it goes. No, that was a bad idea. That was a bad idea. That's better. Boom. Big damage, love to see it. We are winning. Chained Wrath, go for it. Solemn Lament. I'm going to tech. Goodbye. I'm 90% certain they will stagger from Solemn Lament. If not, then this will be quite awkward, but I'm 90% certain this will occur. Go on, lad. Yep. Yep. Yep, they're dead even. They didn't stagger, they just died. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's over. Well played, lads. Honestly, you put up a decent fight. It's got to be said. Top efforts all around, but no. Interesting. Lots of fun stuff to play with. I'd like to take a look into this, like, baby Hana shit, because there might be something we can do. Maybe not the cards themselves, I'm not entirely sure I'm in love with them, but the key pages, certainly. Oinky, oink, piggy. That's actually really good. Bang him. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Let's boot him up, ladies and gentlemen. Because Authority obviously works well with the key page because it directly benefits from the trigram pages, limited though they are. Grade is a solid one. That'd be great for slash users, because even if you lose, you kind of win. And if you do win, like even if you actually succeed, you're going to paralyze them, which makes next turn even easier as well. It's a great setup card. That's definitely stuff worth playing with there. I do love me a slash build, and there's plenty of slash to play with. So there's definitely some possibility there. Very least grade, just, you know, setting yourself up for the next turn. And the trigrams with, what was it called? Authority or something? That stuff works well. I can see it working well. K-Corp is funny. I'd like to see if I can maybe do something with that. And I don't think you even need to use the Hana Fixes page necessarily. You could probably just steal the baby trigrams from it. Yeah, let's put a spin. If we got grade and the other one. There's grade. I think you need the page in order to get authority, which makes sense because why would you get authority without the trigrams? Okay, well, there's stuff to look at here. Cool, alright, well, that's all for today, friends. Some good fights today, for sure. But I suspect we're going to come across something that causes us some real trouble soon. Now, here in Urban Plague, I'm not sure. There's only 2 fights left, but it's not impossible. But I get the impression, perhaps incorrectly, but I get the impression this might be a transitional phase, as it were. We go from, you know, Urban Legend. Urban Plague is just kind of here to provide some encounters and some challenges, and in Urban Nightmare is when things start to get really tough. That's my current impression. Who knows? One of these two could be an absolute fucker. I have no idea. But we'll find out next time. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to our members and patrons, Miscreants, Rakuriku, Crescent, Sonny the Horse, Cryolytic, Lyra the Hexire, Missalangi, Instastory, E, Lanthelian, Gage Donaldson, Hosherman, Saga, Jack, Ninja Dog, Ember Fox, Grand Captain General Peace, Bean Back Tursum, Lung Humor, Cuds, Kane Samaria, Poe, Paul Triple Breck, Lifesteal, Mega Mr. Z-Man, Unclever Name, Summercat, Flanny, Pinch Dragoon, Libertators, Proxy, Caminera, Moa, Heartland, Herrick J, Dresso, Sion Distance, Lol, Etherbin, Linky, Zeon, Cedar, Bimbort, Alkia, Honeydew, Sweet Baby Red, Jessica T, Plutonium Pie, Dreamago, Slap Lullaby, K-Bub, Magical, The Frostbite, SCP-106A, Namad, and Kenny TA100 support me on YouTube and on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, nah, it's getting good. It's getting good, definitely. The Hunter Association definitely gave me more trouble than I was anticipating, but yeah, we're pretty good. We're able to handle it. I know how to build at least some decks, kinda. But I think things will start to ramp up soon, that's for sure. And it's why today, instead of like swapping between loads of different decks, I decided let's just plow through and get some fights done. 3 in a day ain't bad. I don't know whether I'm going to, from now on, make different decks throughout a video, or if I'm going to stick to one deck and maybe make adjustments. Your input on that would be valuable as always, but thank you again so much for watching, and whatever happens next time, I hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.